Chapter 1. Continued. Trotting along with drooping shoulders and lost in thought, Arya is unaware of the repeated gaze of another young crow who walks next to her. He is small for a crow, about the same height as Arya. He buries his hands deeper into his hoodie pockets and clears his throat.
Pris is an asshole,
he states quietly. Just that. Nothing more. Arya snaps out of her repetitive thoughts about Corin, Pris, and Everin. Listening for more, she waits, but to no avail. Quickly, she peeks in his direction. Curly black hair frames a soft, earnest face. There is a softness to his lips that contrasts sharply with his hawkish nose. Arya notices the logo of her school's Discord team on his gray hoodie, the Cassaton Red Devils.
Thank you.
She replies neutrally. They walk side by side in silence, both spent from the party. After a while, the crow utters another single sentence.
But Corin is not much better.
Furiously, Arya turns to face him, ready for a snappy reply. Then she freezes as she meets his gaze. He is not making fun of her. He is not trying to convince her that he would be the better crow for her. It is just a neutral statement. No personal gain intended. Arya's inner self is not only stunned by his honesty. Deep inside, an ugly, unwanted idea takes shape.
This girl may be right. Corin is a good guy.
Arya murmurs, instead of attacking him with empty words.
I know. I went to school with his sister Taryn. He was always around back then.
Back then?
Arya chuckles, teasing him.
Well, old man, how old are you?
Old enough to shake my head at you kids.
He retorts wryly.
Seriously, how old are you?
Arya insists as her curiosity for this crow grows. For a moment, Arya forgets her worries and opens up to the strange crow.
I'm 17, and only 3 months to go until freedom.
She grins with an energetic smile.
Freedom. What do you know of freedom, young knight?
The crow teases her with a quote from the famous movie series Strength and Honor. Arya happily further eases the tension and takes the role of a young, proud knight.
Oh, mighty elder, pray tell, will my future turn out well?
Hey, I'm not that old.
He now candidly smiles back at her and continues.
My name's Raylan. I just turned 20. 20 long, eventful years old.
He sighs and falls into a solemn tone.
And freedom. Freedom always has two sides, if not more.
A sullen mood fills the silence, broken only by their grinding footsteps in the sand. Arya refuses to give in to even more negative thoughts.
Well, maybe more sides are better. More sides? More choices? Then I can just choose what I want.
She closes cheerfully. Raylan keeps silent. With the impatience of a 17-year-old, Arya pushes on.
Oh, come on, there has to be something good in freedom, right? All the options. It's like an arm clip menu, but real.
Raylan is satisfied with his effort to distract Arya. He smiles to himself at her inspiring pep talk and infectious good vibes.
Maybe that's why I'm attracted to her.
He feels the urge to protect this young Amma with her sweet charm from the harms of this messed up world.
Love?
He feels inside, unsure about the warm sensation that floods his thoughts. The cynical part of his mind retorts,
or a bandage against the pain of losing Taryn.
Annoyed at himself for overanalyzing simple feelings, he trots on angrily, sensing that Arya might take his silence the wrong way. He picks up on her argument.
Of course, freedom is good. But unlike the arm clip and its many choices, I can't turn off the actual real shit that we go through right now.
He kicks the sand in fatigued anger and murmurs,
sometimes freedom's just another way for nothing left to lose.
Raylan pauses his gloomy thoughts and smiles apologetically at Arya.
Don't listen to me. It's just that...
He hesitates, gazing at Arya with dark brown eyes. Arya's face shows a mixture of curiosity, disbelief, and worry. Raylan feels he has opened himself up more than he wanted. Irritated, he looks for a way out of this embarrassing moment without losing his cool around her. He continues walking and realizes they have reached the end of the sandy path. He bows deeply, gesturing playfully at the looming lights of the parking lot.
My lady, we arrived at Castle Park-a-Lot,
he heralds with a deep voice. Arya giggles, but inside, his short outburst makes her feel his nameless worries even more. Her mind is in turmoil. First, the still-lasting impression of embracing Corin and Everin, Pris having a fit, bemoaning her own defeat, and now even more sulking from this weird crow.
And yet, he made me feel better. At least he is witty, reasonably good-looking too. Nice touch on the boots. I like the Manth motives. Strange combo. The tight black pants and a gray hoodie. But it's an interesting choice somehow. He seems to look after himself. Not as tall as Corin, though. Who do I choose to go along as Len? Purgit? She's so weird lately. Maybe Everin, if I can pry her out of Pris' hands.
Automatically, bits of information chatter through her mind, listing pros and cons, weighing and selecting affirmative traits over equally bad habits. All within a second, Arya's curiosity in this crow grows from
Meh.
to,
Interesting. Arya, you're a slut.
she thinks to herself. The parking lot and bus stop are flooded with bright white light that emanates from large light poles. Looking over the scene, Arya mutters,
I hate these new lights. They burn right through my eyes. The older ones had a nice bluish hue. This? They make a shadow. Even behind a concrete wall, it was a bad idea to put those up.
I disagree. The new system can run exclusively on energy from waste disposal and still uses 1/3 less energy. The separation units are AI-driven. Residual waste is minimal,
Raylan clears his throat as he picks up Arya's look of confusion.
but I concur that the wavelength parameters need adjustment.
He quickly finishes as if to throw in one more argument through the quickly closing door that is Arya's attention.
You concur?
Arya snorts. Speaking without thinking, she blurts
You talk like a Len.
hastily. She adds.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just, how eloquent you sound all of a sudden.
She awkwardly tries to recover from her blunder by smiling sheepishly. Raylan turns his face away for a moment.
Yeah, story of my life.
The crow murmurs silently, but Arya still hears him. The awkward silence that lay in waiting closes in, but Raylan recovers and croaks with a toothless old voice.
Well, young knight, this is how adults speak. You'll learn it in time. But now, on to the waste dispose.
He coughs convincingly in his role. Arya jokingly steadies him like one would an old, fragile crow.
Well, old crow, right this way. Watch your step.
She starts to push him gently toward the disposal unit. The warmth from Arya's arms around his shoulder comforts him, even more than the role-playing. Raylan raises his index finger in a lecturing pose.
You know, when I was young, we only had wooden bins. No fancy compressors and all this reusable new stuff.
Wait a minute.
Arya is glad that they both navigated away from that cringe-worthy moment. And, enrolled, she now shoves him toward the garbage collector, scolding him.
The Eco-Sustain Act has been in effect for more than 20 years now. So, you have pre-birth memories? Magically transferred by your AMA mom, huh?
Arya's hands weave mystical signs in the air, while she dances a few steps ahead.
You got me.
He grins and tosses his garbage bags into the collector. The last teenagers arrive at the parking lot and wait to get rid of their garbage. The waste unit hums in a low, mechanical tone. Only faintly cracking and crushing sounds are audible from the inside.
It's a marvel of engineering, people.
Raylan tells the teenagers and points at the waste disposal unit. He lifts his index finger like a teacher.
That compactor generates the weight of a thunder whale on a fingertip.
Yeah, whatever,
replies a sleepy teen. The monotonous hum of the machine and the constant bright light suck the remaining energy out of all of them. Maybe the circling seagulls find that funny, seeing how waste is transformed into piercing light and annoying sound. But maybe they find it not funny at all, remembering stories of their elders about wooden bins with juicy and nutritious trash, an ever-refilling gleaming source of plenty. Shaking his head while looking after the unfazed kids, Raylan sighs.
Well, see you around, Arya. Tell Corin. He should listen more to his sister Taryn.
He hesitates shortly and adds more quietly.
She gets around. No stuff, you know.
Austin thought. He nestles in his pocket and clicks his car key. A bit further along the parking lane, a sleek Toro 500 turns its lights on and slowly approaches down the driving lane. Raylan feels the need to explain the luxurious car.
Before you get any ideas, it's not mine. It's one of my dad's cars. Dad would kill me if I even had a hint of a scratch in it.
Caught in uncertainty, Arya consults her arm clip and glances over to the bus stop. The next bus is due in 5 minutes. Yet, Pris is still waiting right at the bus stop with the others.
Now what? Hide in the bushes and jump into the bus at the last second? Or getting into a car of a more or less unknown, but in a weird way somehow interesting crow dude? Although,
she sizes him up.
I could take him in a fight. He would need serious backup to take me on, no problem. Think, Arya. Think. What's your hookup here?
She looks intently at her arm clip and back to the bus stop, making sure that Raylan notices it the second time around. He frowns, following Arya's gaze over to the bus stop. There Priz leans at an advertisement panel looking down to the ground with folded arms.
Oh,
Raylan mutters in understanding.
you need a ride?
Arya nervously smiles and nods silently.
Then get in.
The car doors fold back and reveal its luxurious interior. Fine leather seats with intricate ornaments slide into view. Arya has never been inside one of these high-end cars, and she is amazed by the subtle fusion of understatement and lush, opulent materials. Everything in this car says, "Yes, I am rich, but it's so boring to show it." The middle console slides up into soothing but oddly too perfect voice in tones. "Welcome, Raylan, son of Raylan Winslow, owner of this fine."
Yeah. Shut up.
Raylan's rude order stops the generic car AI in its tracks. Its calculations are wrong. It must rethink its approach on how to serve Raylan best. The missing crucial data in its personal training set for Raylan must be acquired first.
Where do you live?
Raylan asks Arya.
Over at Crimson Bridge, 118 East, Spentfort Lane.
Arya replies wearily. The last hours begin to take their toll. The comfortable warm seats and the quiet hum of the electrical engine do their part. Raylan also leans back and closes his eyes while instructing the car.
You got that car? Go there first, then home.
"Of course, Raylan," the car replies. It accelerates smoothly but firmly until it reaches its permitted speed limit.
And stop calling me my name.
"Yes, Raylan," the car replies. Raylan sighs and gives up. With his eyes closed, he tells the car's AI.
Play some music, something with
He muses and continues.
water. Quiet rainfall, no waves, echoes of distant clouds, summer rain in southern Verler, along those lines.
"Certainly, Raylan." Soothing soft music rains down on Arya and Raylan. The generic AI is not aware of Raylan's personal favorites, so it generates, generic soothing music. After a while, Raylan breaks the silence.
Gods, he loves them, My dad. His cars,
His incoherent mumbling continues.
and no one in the family, not Len Mom, not Amma Mom, not anyone is allowed to install a personal AI. This generic bullshit is so last decade.
He sighs and opens his eyes again, glancing broodingly over the sparse night lights of the city outskirts.
Still so many without power after the last flood.
He quietly says into the silence. More to himself, he murmurs.
They say the next big storm may reach the city.
Nodding grimly, he adds.
The climate returns our pollution, and governments still squabble about old industries with no future. The corporate conglomerates have them by their slits, bulbs, and balls. My dad is one of those that do the squeezing.
He broods. Silently, he adds to himself.
And it looks like I will learn it too. After a while. Time is running out, I have to do something.
Gazing over to Arya, who enjoys the warm depth of the leather cushions, he apologizes.
I'm sorry to bug you with my troubles. I guess you have your own share of problems.
Arya folds her arms around her shoulders and snuggles herself in even more, relishing the peace and comfort of a luxury car.
That's okay.
She yawns sleepily with closed eyes. Raylan smiles, shaking his head.
Any other time, I would have taken that as an insult.
Arya frowns and murmurs half asleep.
Nah, I meant, it's okay to tell me about your worries. Hey, they may be the same as mine.
Surprised by Arya's go-with-the-flow attitude, Raylan keeps silent. The more Raylan knows of this Amma, the more he likes her. That is a warm thought, and he does not want to frighten it away by talking. A curl falls across Arya's face, tickling her nose. She waves that pesky curl aside and looks up drowsily.
Where are we? Oh, Hammond Drive. Still some ways to go.
She recognizes the new Bolton Tower skyscraper in the distance. She is firmly resolved to get lost in its huge malls, spend hours upon hours hunting just the right boots or just hang out with whoever she meets there.
I'd wish I could spend money like I can spend time. So maybe I'll find some work after school? School. That's something I'd wish away in an instant if I could.
Lost in thought, she watches the streetlights pass overhead.
That biology exam may be trouble, but I think I can make it. I hope Corin makes it. He should be okay. Everin taught him a lot and she's just uber smart.
Arya drowsily glances over at Raylan, who is also looking out of the window, lost in thought. Arya is content with the silence between them.
This is actually really nice. Not to talk, not to think about what other people may or may not think about me or themselves.
She lets her thoughts drift again among all the bits of information and emotions that fill her teenage head. Something stirs in her thoughts, something deep inside her very core that demands attention.
No one here to tell me what's right and what's wrong. No one telling me what to do. Who are you to judge me? You don't even know me.
Her thoughts echo louder and she mentally pounds her muscular chest. The peaceful, silent Arya holds onto life-saving planks of reason as the waves of righteous rage grow ever stronger.
This pris bitch. And why didn't Everin step up for me at the beach? And Corn is not much better. Cowards never trust a crow or a Lin.
Arya's gender anger hits a roadblock.
But am I different? I am a typical Amma. So what? I like fashion and looking fresh. So what? I can deliver children. So what?
Her thought train kicks in a new gear labeled social issues and stuff.
What about the others? How much did they see? How much was there to see? Did I come across like a tramp? Oh my God! I hope Persian and Chiron never find out.
With each thought birthing at least 3 new thoughts. Arya's neural capacity quickly reaches its limits.
And what about Raylan? Who is he to me? Is it genuine interest? Or just pity on his side? And if they all talk about me in school tomorrow, I'll drop dead. I swear.
Slowly, the staccato of her thoughts ebbs off to more steady chains of reasoning.
Should I act sick and stay home tomorrow? Len Mom would so look right through that. And then I have to explain. Bad idea. I hope my mom had a good day today. She always gets into fights with Dad when she's had a rough day at work.
The winding, branching web of thoughts slowly fizzle out as Arya finally falls asleep. The car passes a network of giant pipes and rows of tubes surrounded by sprawling flat buildings. Raylan recognizes the industrial park named after his father. As the car speeds past, he catches a glimpse of the bluish glow from the central power core.
Is this it? Is this my future?
He muses with a sense of dread.
Working in one of Dad's plants, learning from the bottom up, and all the gung-ho with his shirt sleeves folded up and ready to go.
Raylan wonders about his boring past.
It's been 2 years now, and all I do is check reports, organize video calls, visit R&D labs, pretending to be interested in energy conversion coefficients of the last fiscal quarter.
He frowns at the endless list of tasks that are given to him on a daily basis, all interchangeable procedures without deeper purpose.
Everybody is just a tit too courteous and too eager when I'm around at work. Oh, it's Raylan Winslow, Jr. Let's bow down and kiss his ass some more.
Raylan exhales in disgust.
I wish I could choose again, like Arya still can. But my choice of freedom appears to have some really negative sides.
He looks at Arya, who is peacefully dreaming beside him. Her well-formed breast muscle rises and falls with her even breaths. In theory, he definitely gets why Corrin and Everin fell for her. He imagines how Arya's fragrance and Terran's scent would mix with his. A wave of nausea hits him as if punched in the stomach.
No, we do not go there. Remember.
He uneasily clenches his fists and sighs in resignation at his lost love Terran.
No, we do not want to go there again. Too much pain. Too many dark places. I know.
As Arya wakes up, a smiling Raylan stands at the open car door, gesturing behind him.
That's as far as I go. Beyond this point, there be monsters. Yar.
Arya smiles sleepily. Raylan scratches his head and muses.
Especially those with questions like, who is that young crow? Or the all-time classic. And where is your Len?
He shudders in jest.
Can't make a triple without a Len.
Arya laughs at his well-played imitation of an old, overly inquisitive relative. She gets out, reluctantly caressing the sleek frame of the luxurious car one last time. Raylan notices and, pointing at her in the car, asks with raised eyebrows,
Should I leave you two alone? Maybe a garage somewhere. I have an old but running sapphire ox. I could lend you two for a triple.
Arya shoots a clean right jab to his upper arm.
You idiot.
She chides Raylan, first looking at his arm, then back at Arya. Raylan finally moans.
Ow, that hurt.
Intently watching her, he asks,
Do you always hurt people?
Arya feels that he really means something else.
What a strange guy.
She thinks confused. Nonchalantly shrugging her shoulders, she replies,
Yes, it's in my genes.
Dramatically raising her outstretched arms in the air. She intones,
And all shall love me and despair.
Another quote from Strength and Honor. Raylan immediately replies with genuine honesty.
You shall not be dark, but beautiful and terrible as the morning and the night.
His sincere tone and serious expression send shivers down Arya's spine.
It's me. He's talking about me. This is getting heavy, but I can't back down now. I thank you for your words of wisdom, O mighty elder.
She says, smashing hand against fist as a warrior caste does in strength and honor. Matching his honesty, she adds softly.
May our paths cross again in the future.
Nonchalantly, Raylan remarks,
Oh, they definitely will. I got the memo yesterday.
he explains.
Your school class will take a field trip to our carbon processing plant outside town on Friday.
Oh, you! Get out of here, you! You crow!
Aria laughs one last time and waves goodbye. Raylan opens the car window to wave back at her. Music with a familiar heavy bass booms out of the car and the distinctive voice sings again. Sea, earth, and fire, higher baby, higher. Who are you to judge me or touch me for what I am? Our life's on the wire. Sea, earth, and fire. Aria watches the car glide away in the distance. She shakes her head in amazement as she finally walks toward the entrance of her apartment building.
What a day!
Well, who is going to be the Len in their triple?
Shut up.